So again, Delphi method, each of you submit a number and we don't know who you are. And then this result will be collected by a guy, say me, okay? I will collect the number and then I will take the statistic of this group, of the group estimation out. For example, I will tell you that the median that everybody gave me is maybe 60 and the average is 70 or some other numbers or standard deviation, whatever. Okay, or give you the whole distribution is also fine. It's also a statistics. Okay, and then we will ask you, after reviewing this information, provide me with a new estimation. So it may be because, say, you make the estimation as an average of 40, and then but you see that the class make an average estimation around 70. So you see, okay, everybody are very confident about their own grade in the second midterm. So I guess the average would be higher than 40. So you might move that number of 40 into something rather than 40, maybe 60, something like that. Okay, and this is just one round. We repeat this round. Like you give me the number, I give you the statistics back. You give me another number. We play this through several rounds until we basically make a consensus. Okay. So maybe everybody's estimate now is around 65, and then the actual number that we make out of this whole process, the prediction that this Delphi method gave, would be the median number that the final round's median estimation. Okay. And like I told you before, I think it's role playing means we make a pair. So maybe Ben is paired with Venus and Wei Ting is paired with Ke Yun, and there's a lot of these pairs. In each pair, one of the panelists would do exactly what the original Delphi method do, and the second panelist would be a sort of like a play a role as either a guy who always give the opposite estimation or opposite opinion, or as the guy who give sort of an alternative opinion with some reason supported. Like I think Selena asked this question last week. So do we actually practice this in real world? We do. Okay, so last time I gave an example of a law firm that lawyers do this kind of mock court a lot, so that they would know what happened to predict what would happen in the real court, for example. So yeah, and so that's the process, and everything from here is from everything I talked about is from last time. Do you guys have any questions? Or do you guys understand what's Delphi method? Shouldn't be too hard, right? And just a process. Okay? So why do we do this? The advantage of this Delphi method compared to so these advantages are compared to the so-called unstructured discussion method. So that means I would sort of like maybe you did this in some of the class, okay, so that the teacher would ask you to do a group discussion. It will separate you into small groups and you just discuss, discuss and tell me the conclusion. Compared to that, the Delphi method has the following advantage. It sort of allows large number of participants. Okay, because in a group, we sort of have to make the group size not too big, right? Otherwise, it would be just everybody speak one sentence to, 30 minutes pass. Okay, or a committee meeting is even a smaller group, maybe only 3 or 5 people. But in this process, obviously, everybody simply submit a number, right? So it's a very quick process. And also because everybody just submit a number, and nowadays email or instant message or whatever apps that you're using, any meeting app will be able to let you submit this number sort of instantly. So geographically dispersed group can also use this process, this method. Okay. And also because this is anonymous, right? In a small group, maybe you know that someone has a higher authority than you, so you're afraid of saying something. But this kind of method, because everybody's anonymous, you can freely make any estimation from no pressure. Okay, and also at the same time, it can avoid some of the influence of a potentially irrelevant factor like status of a person possessing, proposing an estimate. Okay, this is from the other side. So you are not afraid of making an estimation. Also, when we see a new estimation, we wouldn't care that, oh, this estimation is made by the CEO and that estimation is made by someone else. Yes?
Is there any discussion between the rows or not?
Discussion?
Yeah.
No.
You just submit, you see the result and you vote
Yeah.
without anything
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. You will, I think, you can also provide, I think this is mentioned in textbook, with that statistic, you can also provide your reason to support that statistics. So sort of, even if there's no really discuss, but you see other people's opinion, why they, for example, maybe the group say the average is 60, but this guy has a very strong reason saying that it must be 30. Okay, and he provides with some reason that's possible. Okay. Anyway, this is the advantage of Delphi method. And what's the rationale of that Delphi? So, or to be more specific here, you might be wondering why we use median rather than mean, for example. Okay, but this is actually quite easy to be understood. Okay, so suppose this is the distribution of the group of some number. This is your grade, for example. Then the true number, we don't know the true number yet, but suppose the true number is here. And where's your median? Your median is going to be here, right? In this case, this median estimation is at least better than the prediction made by these half of the people. By definition, these half consist of 50%, right? Because that's the definition of median. So, but these 50%, because they are further away to this direction, right? The true answer is here. So it must be that they are more correct. This is the case where, this is one case, okay? Now suppose, sorry, it's quite ugly, okay? Suppose the true answer is actually quite close to the median. It's not that far away, because if it is far away, either way, half of the people would be better predictor. In this way, even more, because these have made prediction worse than the median. Also, around here, these proportion of people also made prediction that worse than the median, right? Because we assume this distance is the same. Okay? Understand what I'm saying? Okay. In that case, only these two groups make prediction better than the median, but that's even strictly smaller than half. So either way, the median prediction is at least as good as the, or at least better than half of the population. Okay? So that's the rationale, one rationale for using the median. Okay. And you can think of the group consists of two groups of people. One group, the textbook call it swinger, the other called holdout. But basically, who's someone who's easily persuaded by someone else, or simply because he's not that firmly believing in what he predict. For example, again the midterm grade example, you might not be that sure about the midterm average. Okay, but after you see someone else's opinion, his opinion might be you think very convincing because you think that he or she might know better than you. Then you will be able to change to those more firmly opinion. And on the other hand, on the other side of this story, there must be someone in the group who firmly believes in his statistics, his number, right? So some people will stick to their true number. Other people will be affected by these people, so they will closer to sort of closer to the prediction of those who firmly believe that where the true answer is. In that case, it's more likely that this is closer to the true answer. Otherwise, unless these people are firmly believe in something just wrong, okay, but that's possible actually. Look at the politics in many countries, okay, but in a way, at least theoretically, this is better than nothing. Okay. Of course, the limitation, actually Ben already mentioned this. So the limitation is that there's little information sharing between panelists. So in your words, that means there's no discussion. Okay? So, but that's sort of like a limitation, but also one of the reasons why this is good. Because if there's a lot of opinion, a lot of discussion, then you would go back to sort of the unstructured discussion. Okay, but it's true that maybe sometimes you do need more discussion. Okay, so for tips for applying Delphi, you should use expert with domain knowledge. Okay, you shouldn't, like for example, you cannot ask another class to estimate the average grade in our class because they know nothing about this class, right? You need to know something. And it's better than homogeneous group, but heterogeneous group. That means diverse group. Okay, you don't want someone, for example, our class is pretty diverse, okay? So it's by nationality or by any definition, I guess. Different departments and all that. But in general, in a company, it might be because you're making a decision in the finance department. Everybody know each other for a long time, and everybody's sort of expert in finance. Everybody's the same kind of expert, which is bad. You want different kind of angle. Okay. And although Delphi can use a large group of people, but the tips to have a good Delphi method is probably around 5 to 20 experts. And this is what I mentioned before. So in addition to the mean and the median of the estimate, each round in the feedback you can plus the rationale from all panelists for their estimate. So you talk about why you do such an estimation. Okay. And so you can tell this Delphi polling until the response shows stability. Okay, in general that means, and generally speaking, that 3 rounds of these Delphi method will be enough. You don't need to do like 30 rounds. And you can also do a weighting in the end. So I said you should, the traditional Delphi method, you just use the median. But if you do know that some experts estimate are sorry, I said this wrong. So it's true that you do need to weighting all the expert estimate equally and aggregate them. Okay, you don't want to do that unequal weighting unless you know something very firmly to be true. Maybe someone is really more expert than other expert. Okay. So that's the Delphi method. Any questions? No? Okay. And this one is another method of gathering group information. This is called the prediction markets. Is there anyone here heard of prediction markets before? No? Okay, so prediction market play like this. You want to predict something. The easiest explained case is the binary case. Binary case like who's gonna win the presidential election in the U.S. 2020. Okay, so each candidate is a binary case. Either Trump is gonna win it or he does not win it. Biden is gonna win it or he does not win it. Okay, so let's look at the Trump case specifically. So Trump is gonna either win this election or not gonna win this election. So we create this market or stock market, which each of these share of the stock is gonna worth $1. If for $1 is just an example, it can be something more than $1. Okay, but it says let's just go with $1 because that's usually how it goes. So at the end of this year, or not even at the end of this year, it's around November, I think, we will know who's gonna be the next US president, right? In that case, if Trump win, each share of this stock would worth $1. If Trump lose, each share of this stock would worth $0. Okay? So, for example, and then we will give each of the participant some share of stock as an initial position or endowment, and also you endow with some money, okay? And in the real money world, real money market, it's just with your own money, okay? With play money market, you can usually the host give you a bunch of money, okay? Either way, you have some money and stock, and then you use the stock market rule to freely trade this stock. Okay. Does that make sense up to now? Or still don't know what I'm talking about? So the key here is the price of each share. It usually started with some initial price, say 50 cents. Okay? And what if you think Trump is gonna win and you think the probability is 90%? then you would think that it's worth more than 50 cents, right? Because you have 90% chance of winning $1. So each share worth how much? Worth 90 cents to you, right? 90% times $1. So if the market price now is 50 cents, you want to buy in. And if a lot of people in the market think the same way as you do, a lot of people will want to buy in. That means demand is high, and from economics 101, high demand will lead to high price, right? So here the quantity is fixed, sort of fixed, because we provide you with the stock, initial stock, okay? So the only thing that can go up is the price. And the price will go up to where? If the whole market believe, if the market equilibrium is stay at 87 cents, what does that mean? It means that on average, the market equilibriums think that the probability is 87%. Because if there's a lot of people who think it's over 87%, these people would want to further buy in this stock, which will make it go even up more. And if the overall the market think is lower than 87 cents, a lot of people will want to sell. Okay, so the price would go down. Okay, and this is the binary case, but we can also trade in non-binary case. For example, you can trade again for use the election example, you can trade in the proportion of vote that Trump get. So suppose Trump in the end win the popular vote by 56%, then each of the stock would worth 56 cents. If they only get 30% of the vote, each share of this stock would worth 30 cents at the end. Again, if you think Trump is gonna win over 30%, for example, you think Trump is gonna win the election, but his popular vote is not going to be that much. Maybe the proportion he wins is around 48%, but 48 is still higher than 30, right? So you think at the end, each of these shares would worth 48 cents. Now the price you buy in is only 30 cents, so you want to buy. And a lot of people think this way. A lot of people would buy, and it will drive the price go up until it's around 48 or the market equilibrium. So this is 08. The 08 election. This is October 17, which is about 1 month before the election actually take place. And Obama back then, by the prediction market, the price is around 62 cents per share. That means they actually use a $10 per share as if Obama win or if Romney win, the share of that stock will be $10. Okay, so you can see here. This you can buy share at $6.20. So if you think Obama gonna win with a chance higher than 62%, you should buy in because the stock gonna pay you $10 at the end. Okay?
But there's no real money, it's just for...
There is actually real money market. This one I think is the real money market in Kentucky or something. But there is actually a market in the US that can run this. In Taiwan, this is illegal. So we have a play money one. in.
After the election, what does the money become? Like
People use real money to buy this stock in the real money market. So some people will lose all their stock because, for example, if you buy the Mitt Romney stock, at the end you get $0 per share. And if you buy the Obama share, the host will give you $10 per share.
and who's regulating the host? Has to be financial institution or anyone can be?
Well, that's the issue of law basically. So each country have different. So in Taiwan, because it's illegal to have a real money one, you can only use play money. Since it's play money, there's really no big harm, so everybody can host it basically. And in the US, I guess you would need to have some fund initially to, it's like a financial market, so you need to have some certificate or something. Yeah, I don't know the law part, but yeah. And this is this year. In this case, they use a $1 as the final price, a final payment if Trump win or not. This one is $10. The other one is $1. It's obvious because cannot be 5.1% here. Okay. So based on this website, which is I take this picture I think last week or 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before, because I intend to teach this last week. Back then it was like this. So Trump still had a 51% winning the election by the market's prediction, and Biden has a 41% winning it. You can remember this, and we can come back and check this at the end of this year. Okay, so the advantage of this method over Delphi is what? So you all took the economic 101 or maybe even some microeconomic before, right? So you know that market have a very strong monetary incentive to push you to think hard and reveal their true belief. Okay. In a Delphi method, maybe you think that your true belief is that 60% of the chance that Trump will win the election. But you might only submit the number as 40% because you don't like Trump, for example. But in the money market, it all goes to a loss at the end. So you will think hard about that. Okay? And Delphi method only goes for like several rounds. And so say one round is a half day or 3 hours, something like that. Then 5 round is just 15 hours. It's within a day, the whole Delphi method can conclude. But the prediction market usually run continuously. Meaning, for the 2020 election, they might have already opened the market last year. Because Trump is a obvious candidate who's gonna run the election this year, right? So they can already create this Trump stock. And for Joe Biden, maybe it's also a strong candidate they already saw last year, so they can create that stock as well. And for Andrew Cuomo, do you guys all know who he is? He's the state of the New York State. Yeah, he got a brother who's a CNN anchor, and they got into fight in a CNN live TV where his brother interviewed this governor of the NY state, and they were arguing about who's their mother's favorite son over the television broadcast. It's a really funny movie clip that you should watch on YouTube. Yeah, and so Andrew Cuomo is only because the reason COVID-19 thing. I don't think anyone thought he could potentially run for a Democrat before the COVID-19 thing. So last year when they created the market, probably Cuomo is not even here. But it doesn't matter. As long as someone is potentially could be a candidate, you can put his name on it and become a new stock. It's just that the price will go really, really low.
If you create a new share, it's going to be because, for example, on the previous example, it was 0.62 for gamma and 0.38 for
Yeah.
So if you create a new one, it's going to be zero.
It depends on the rule. So it depends on the rule. So in the play money example, which we're gonna play an example at the end of this class, in that case, I will provide you with initial stock, which are free, and then I will set a market price.
But to create anything in real life, you have to have money first. Like it's not creation of money from nothing.
There is no creation of money. If it is the real market, you buy in this stock with some initial price. Okay, and actually this initial price doesn't really matter because the market will really go really fast, converge to the equilibrium, whatever the initial price is. Yeah, so that actually doesn't really matter. Okay, yeah, because it's continuous. So the benefit of continuous market is that you can update the estimation sort of instantly. Okay, so for example, if today in the US something really big event happened, which crushed Trump's support, okay, then you can easily see that number will go down very fast. But if you use the Delphi method, you need another 10 hours to get that out, which everybody already knows is gonna hurt by how much. The market can tell you. That's like the stock market can tell you how they react to Trump's speech or something like that, or what's the new event in the world. Okay? And well, a lot of people, at least in the corporate setting, a lot of people traded in stock before, right? So trading stock is a familiar environment for a lot of people. So it's easier for people to understand what the hell is going on. But the Delphi method, if you first use it, is a rather unfamiliar condition environment. But there are also some disadvantage of prediction market over Delphi. So first of all, because everything that pay off is at the end of the market. So with the Trump election example, you need to wait until the election end and to get the payoff, right? So if the event is long away, say we can also set a market predicting what's the chance of an alien invasion in 2030. That's possible. You can do that, but fewer people will want to trade in that market because that means you can only get the payoff in over 10 years. Okay? And the second one says that the making a direct estimate in Delphi may be easier than translating an estimate into a market price. I sort of don't 100% agree with it, but I think translate it into a number shouldn't be too hard in either way. Okay. Okay. Oh, one thing that do need to mention. So, this one, vulnerability and to manipulation. So, this is especially true in Taiwan, since they're using play money. So the NCCU, National Zhengzhi University, they host a lab that do this. It's called, forgot the English name. Anyway, okay. But if you Google NCCU and prediction market, you should be able to find it online. Okay, and they used to be actually really precise about the Taiwan election. They make a very good prediction in some of the election in the past. But because we all know that in the election, for example, people like to vote for for the candidate who will win at the end. Even if I'm sort of indifferent between the two candidates, or even slightly like candidate A more than candidate B, but because I know if I vote for candidate B, this is a for sure waste. Some people think that way because candidate B is not gonna win. So I will still vote for candidate A. So if the prediction market is very precise in the past, and I see the prediction market is making the prediction that candidate is gonna win, I would, or the media, quote the prediction market result and saying that the media, the prediction is that candidate A is gonna win, it will actually drive more people to vote for candidate A. So this can be a strategy that these candidates can use as a political strategy. Okay, so what happened in Taiwan is that both the KMT and DPP, they hire people to spend real money to buy in the market or just create a lot of the fake account into the market and spend a whole lot of money buy for their own party to win. So, and if a lot of people do this, you can manipulate the market really easily. Especially if it's play money. Even if it's real money, as long as the share, the total share is not too big. This is like maybe you spend 1 million NT dollar into this market and you're gonna lose those money. But you can think of it as a campaign spending, right? You have to spend some money anyway. It's just whether that's advertisement or using on this. So they would still want to, put money into it. Okay. And there is also danger of cascade. Cascade means that this also happened in like the general stock market. Okay. If you see that the price is going down now, a lot of people would think that the market price is going down even further. People would cascade. This cascade word comes from like a bank cascade. Okay, you run into bank, you run into the stock market and want to do a lot of sell, then they will drive the price even go further down, which is actually irrational, but people do that. Okay. And he also said that people have the opportunity to learn in the Delphi through feedback. I think it's true, but I think the textbook overlooked the fact that, in the market you also learn. Okay, maybe not in one round, but if you play enough market, you went through several elections, in each election you will get the feedback at the end and you will learn to, how to play this market. And Delphi method also only require 5 to 20 participants, but in general, the prediction market needs more and more people because a small group will not make a very good prediction in general. Okay?
Too much more than.
This is usually like a stock market, so actually the more the better. So a group of 100 people probably is the minimum. Something like that, yeah. Questions? No? Okay. The last method is called decision conferencing. Based on today's time, I think it's not really important method anyway, so I'm gonna let you just read it by yourself through a textbook. Okay, it's just a lot of reading, as if I think it's 2 to 3 pages reading, but nothing too important. And I won't ask you specific question directly leading to the decision conferencing, the midterm. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna do a prediction market. Okay, so I'm gonna use it to predict your own grade. You're gonna see the instruction as predicting the final grade, but the final grade is too far away. Okay, it's 1 month away. So we're gonna predict your midterm grade. Okay, so the screenshot that you will, the UI interface, user interface that you will see, will look like this. Basically, you can you either buy or sell. You can actually scroll down this icon. Okay, and decide a price. And if you hit the buy, it means that you submit a bid that you want to buy at this price. And if someone asks you, someone also want to sell at this price, the computer will make a deal for you, and you will make the bids. You will buy at that price. Okay, and if you think the price is too high, you want to sell. You also have some share, right? If you want to sell the share, you can set a price and then click on the sell button. And the final grades translate into the final payoff of each share like this. So if your midterm grade, the class average is 100, which is the highest possible number, then each of these shares would worth $1. If the average is 60, then each of these shares would worth 60 cents. Okay, so although the range here can go up to 180 cents, but obviously nobody wants to buy at the 180 cents, right? Because you will at the most pay for $1 at the end. Okay? And here, what it shows is currently in the market, how many bids and how many asks there are. This is exactly the method that used in like the stock exchange market in Chicago, for example. Okay, so this means that someone wants to buy at 165, someone wants to buy at 83 cents. So if you are someone who wants to sell at 165 because you think this guy doesn't understand the rule, obviously it should be lower than $1, then you can click this button. It says sell at the highest bid. Then you sell out at the highest bid. You can also buy at the lowest cost, meaning there might be a lot of ask here. This ask is the opposite. You ask for buying something at some particular price. Say you think that the price should be around 45 cents, then you can sell it for 45 cents. Someone else like this price, want to sell you at that price, want to buy from you. Want to buy from you, want to sell. Yeah, you want to buy from you, then you click the ask. You can buy at the lowest ask because you want to buy at low price, sell at high price, right? So if you click the here, it just do something automatically for you. If you use the user button there, you just set the price by yourself. Okay. And here, the graph will tell you the market, each transaction, it will tell you each transaction's current price. What's the deal price, basically. Okay? Questions?
We don't know how many in the right tab. We don't know how many shares you have.
You will see. So the share is written here, and the redemption. So don't care about this redemption value. Redemption is the final. The redemption value actually this depend on your final grade. Your midterm grade. Okay, so this is because Moblat doesn't really have a prediction market game, so I use this game to translate into a prediction market basically. So don't look at this number, but the share is how much do you have currently. Everybody had started with the same share, and everybody's in the same market. So we have 10 people today, so that means it's gonna be 100 share in total. Okay, and possible dividend is gonna be 0. That means the stock won't give you dividend. This is because this is a prediction market. Okay, so there's no dividend. Okay, the cash is here, so that's how much cash you have currently, basically. But you will see all the information. Yeah. Questions? No? So I will start the game because this is a game that you can play for a long time. So I will let the game automatically end in 50 minutes. Okay, but next class we're gonna still go into class. You can do the trading within this 50 minutes as you want. I will give you another 10 minutes for you to trade in the next class anyway. Okay?